Have you ever felt that sting, that quiet ache in your chest when someone you wanted didn't want you back? It's strange how rejection doesn't just end with a moment. It echoes, it lingers, it makes you question everything about yourself. You start wondering if you weren't enough, if you said something wrong, if you were ever truly seen at all. That's the thing about rejection. It's not just someone saying no, it's the mind interpreting that no as proof that you're unworthy. I remember once, I was deeply drawn to someone who felt like home, the kind of person whose presence felt like peace. But then, one day, without reason or closure, they pulled away. And it wasn't just the loss that hurt, it was what their absence said to me. That maybe I was never enough to stay for. I tried to move on, but my mind kept replaying every word, every moment, like I could rewrite it if I analyzed it hard enough. That's the cruel part about rejection. It makes us turn inward, not to heal, but to search for flaws. Psychologically, rejection activates the same part of the brain as physical pain. That's why it doesn't just hurt emotionally. It actually hurts physically. Your body doesn't see the difference between a broken bone and a broken heart. The brain releases cortisol, stress hormones flood your system, and your sense of safety. The belief that you're loved and valued starts to shake. It's a primal response, something evolution wired into us because being rejected once meant being excluded from the tribe. And back then, exclusion could mean death. So even now, thousands of years later, our minds still treat rejection like a threat to survival. But here's what most people never realize. Rejection doesn't actually define your worth. It reveals your attachment to being accepted. Every time someone turns away, the wound it leaves behind shows you the parts of yourself that still depend on external validation to feel whole. You start to see how much of your peace was placed in someone else's hands. And the moment you understand that, you begin to take that power back. Think about it. How many times have you changed yourself just to be liked, to be chosen, to avoid being rejected again? You shrink parts of your personality, you silence your needs, you smile when you're hurting, because deep down, you're terrified that if people see the real you, they'll leave. But the irony is, the more you hide who you are, the more you end up rejecting yourself before anyone else ever gets the chance. I once read something that stayed with me. Rejection is redirection. At first, it sounds like a cliche, but when you live through it, you realize it's true. The person who left, the job that didn't work out, the door that closed, they were all redirecting you towards something stronger, something meant for you. But you can't see that in the moment. In the moment, all you see is what you lost. It takes time, sometimes months, sometimes years, to look back and realize that rejection wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning of your becoming. Here's the psychological truth. Rejection triggers shame, and shame says, there's something wrong with me. But the reality is rejection often has less to do with who you are and more to do with someone else's of a capacity to receive you. People project their fears, their insecurities, their emotional limits. You might have offered love to someone who didn't know how to hold it. You might have offered depth to someone only comfortable with surface. That doesn't make you unworthy. It just means your depth required someone ready to meet it. The hardest part is accepting that not everyone will see your value, and that's okay. It's not your job to convince anyone to stay. Your job is to be so grounded in your own worth that when someone walks away, your world doesn't collapse with them. When you build your sense of value on external approval, you'll always be at the mercy of other people's choices. But when your self-worth is built from within, from knowing who you are, what you've survived, and how deeply you can feel, rejection becomes less of a wound and more of a mirror. It reflects what you still need to heal. Sometimes the reason rejection hurts so much is because it reopens an old wound. Maybe from childhood, when a parent ignored you, or made you feel unseen. The brain connects those experiences subconsciously. So when someone rejects you today, it's not just about them. It's about every moment you ever felt unwanted. That's why the pain feels so deep, so disproportionate. Healing means separating those moments, realizing this rejection doesn't define all of them. And then there's the power of perspective. Every person you meet is a mirror. Some reflect love, others reflect lessons. The ones who reject you often show you the strength you forgot you had. Because once you survive rejection, once you feel it fully and still choose to love yourself through it, you become emotionally untouchable. You stop chasing what's running away and start attracting what's meant for you. Rejection teaches emotional intelligence. It teaches restraint. How not to beg for closure you already know won't heal you. It teaches self-awareness. How to see your patterns, your needs, your fears. And it teaches empathy. How to understand that just as you've rejected others before, sometimes people reject you not out of cruelty, but confusion. Everyone's fighting their own invisible battles. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that rejection doesn't reduce you. It refines you. It shows you who's real, what you value, and what you deserve. Every no you hear pushes you closer to the yes that was meant for you all along. But you have to stop treating rejection as punishment. It's not the universe turning against you, it's life clearing the path ahead. So the next time someone leaves, don't chase, don't beg, don't crumble. Let them go with grace, because your worth was never dependent on their ability to recognize it. The right people, the ones meant to stay, will never need convincing. They'll see your light and meet you there. And maybe one day you'll look back on every rejection and feel grateful, because those were the moments that shaped your confidence, your strength, your peace. The moments that taught you how to stand alone without feeling lonely. You are not hard to love. You were just trying to be loved by people who didn't know how to love deeply. Don't let that make you smaller. Let it make you wiser. Because when you finally stop chasing acceptance, you start attracting alignment. And that's where real peace begins. If you found this video helpful, if my words resonated with you in some quiet way, then maybe we're a little alike. So if you want to keep walking this journey of self-discovery together, make sure to subscribe for more deep psychology insights.